Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining my talk, and I'm gonna discuss values in tech. So for a long time, I thought that all the times that I saw companies talk about companies' values, it's just an arbitrary thing or something that they need to state for legality reasons, but not really something that is measurable, that I have something to do with it in my day-to-day. Until I started making decisions based on my values in my professional life and really understood how important values are in a professional setting as well, and not only on your personal life. So in this talk, I will show you a way to leverage values in your professional life, so you'll be more equipped to choose your next job, to evaluate your current job, and to understand why being aligned with your values will help you in having a successful career without sacrificing happiness or peace of mind. So first of all, hi, my name is Hila. I'm a senior DevOps engineer. I have 15 years of experience in tech. I have a lot of things to say about myself, but I have only 15 minutes for this talk, and I have a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. So what are values? It's the degree of importance of something or an action. It's basically a broad preferences to reflect the person's sense of right or wrong and what ought to be. So basically, values are the core engine that derives principles, behaviors, and actions. And representatives of values are equal rights for all, excellence deserves admiration, people should be treated with respect and dignity, stuff like that. So why are values important? Because they create a desired future. If you know what you want, then it is the first step to getting it. Also, it makes a sense of direction and purpose, because values could and should be a guiding compass in your personal life and in your professional life, as I will show you in this presentation. And basically, when we are aligned with our values, we tend to be more happier, confident, and fulfilled. But then you can say, wait, isn't values the same as principle? So actually, no. Principles are rules or beliefs that govern our actions. Values are qualities or standards that govern our behaviors. And basically, principles are based on our values. So let's understand what drives our decisions, because it's all related, right? So first of all, emotions. You take decisions, and we want to take decisions in the best way, and we need judgment for that, right? And judgment is based on a lot of things, and we all know that emotions cloud judgment. So having emotions interfere with the decision making will probably result in a decision that we will regret taking. Then we also have opinions, right? Because, hey, when was the last time that you bought something just because a friend recommended it to you, or even took a job just because a former colleague told you, yeah, it's a great company to work for, right? Opinions. So always take into consideration where the other person is coming from, which is not always aligned to where you come from and what you care about. And also sometimes people will consult based on what they care about and will not try to ask you what you care about or try to place themselves in your shoes. So you need to think about that. Information. So information is a good starting point to any decision making, but not everything can be facts alone, and not everything is black and white. And we really need to color information with our principles and values to make sure the decision is the right one for us. And also information could sometimes be biased, right, by opinions. So we need to be aware of that as well. Then we get to principles, and we said that principles are rules or beliefs that govern our actions, which is pretty good to decide based on them. But we need to get deeper than that. We need to understand and uncover why we have these beliefs and rules, and this will help us make better decisions. And last but not least, values. So this is the core of it all, our values. And when we use our values to make decisions, we make a deliberate choice to focus on what is important to us. So it is okay to have a job, but if you aspire to have a career, then you need to own it. And I heard a lot of stories like I was approached by this company, it looked good, so I just went along with it and went with the flow. So I believe that if you do want to have a career and you do want to navigate it to fulfill your aspirations and your goals, then there is a great importance of owning your career rather than just go with the flow. And also in terms of opportunities, they are important. And a lot of people believe that if opportunities come knocking at your door, you should seize them. I say seize them, but only if they help you and go along with your needs and goals and direction. Otherwise, they could just potentially steer you away from them. So you should decide which values are important to you and let them lead your way. So let's understand values in terms of company, aka company culture fit. This relates to your job hunt and day-to-day as well. So if a company values delivery, they will want to recruit people that put delivery as their first priority as well. And if a company values collaboration, then maybe pair programming is a norm, and they will want to recruit people that are collaborative as well. And it should be the same for you. You need to make sure the company's culture fits your values and your needs and perspectives. And when values are shared, they build internal cohesion in a group. So in terms of really understanding what is company culture fit, let's understand the organizational perspective towards it. So a culture fit is the likelihood that someone will reflect and or be able to adapt to the core beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors that make up your organization. So culture fit is a thing, and if you ignore that, you will find yourself struggling to prove yourself, to shine, and even to feel at ease in your day-to-day. You'll experience conflicts, inability to set things in motion, or to harness people to help you with your projects and tasks. The employee perspective towards company culture fit is this. Company cultures are like country cultures. Never try to change one. Try instead to work with what you've got. So either you work with what you've got, and if you can't work with it and it makes you unhappy to try, then probably you should find another place that is suitable for you. So, okay, values are nice, but how does it relate to my day-to-day as an engineer? So this is an example of my own, of one of my leading values, which is collaboration, but actually recognition goes into it as well. I acted upon collaboration in my previous job, and there was a program where other employees can basically grant me the collaboration tag and explain why. And a lot of people tagged me with this tag in a certain quarter, and that's why I got this recognition for my company. They had a program called Cheers for Peers. So that's basically it. Don't try to read what it says. If you really want to read it, you have it in my LinkedIn profile. So why am I telling you this? Not because I want a pat on the back or to tell me where to go, but I show you this because I want you to see what happens when you are aligned with your values, and when there's a culture fit between your values and the company's values. You get recognized and you get appreciated. And yeah, not all companies have these programs, but there are ways for you to check that your values are fulfilled. So practicality starts with the understanding that technology is not everything. You really should add your values to the set of considerations when choosing your next workplace and when you evaluate your current workplace. So on job hunts, you need to really remember that you interview them as much as they interview you. So don't just ask about technology stack and project roadmap and stuff like that. Also ask about things that will help you understand if your values are being valued and implemented in the company's day-to-day, and I will cover these kind of questions later on. Yeah. So in your day-to-day, I suggest this approach, to have a lighthouse or a float point of view approach. Basically, to not drift with the flow of your day-to-day, but really raise your head above the water once in a while to make sure that you are steered towards your desired direction. So when I say retrospectives, I mean, don't wait for performance reviews to evaluate what's going on. Do retrospectives with yourself. Decide on a cadence to have these retrospectives. It could be each month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever suits you, and make sure that your values are in check and you are keeping true to them. And when doing the retrospective, don't decide to stay in a current workplace just because the tech stack is cool and you have interesting tasks. Consider values fulfillment as well, because let's say you do have great tech stuff, but you suffer while doing that because of other stuff like micromanagement, or every task is done the hard way because there's no collaboration or knowledge sharing, and well-being is damaged because production on-call is noisy and there's no priority to fix that, or even it's okay to call someone on his day off and it's not even urgent because this is the company culture, right? So what's the point? So you should really have these retrospectives, and I'll give you an example of mine. I mentioned the value of collaboration as the main value for me. So my retrospective in terms of collaboration will look something like that. I will ask myself, did I have pair programming tasks at work? Does my team leader support or encourage that? Do pull requests are only a please review kind of things, or please review, and they want me to review and not just approve and put a stamp on it? Do people tend to help me and I'm able to help them? Or the culture is more like fly solo and figure it out yourself kind of things? So this is one example that you can do with yourself, and I'm gonna share more questions that you can ask based on other values that will help you with the retrospective. So in job hunts, you can ask in an interview and also search on Google, what are the company's core values? Because if they are public about it, it could suggest they feel strongly about it too, thus letting it be their guiding compass. You can ask how do you measure a company's core values? Because if a company declares its core values, they should have a way to measure it. Same as performance reviews. If a company measures your performance and their performance, so business and financial wise, then they should measure their performance cultural wise as well. You should also ask general question, what is success in your book? Because based on the answer that you will get, you will be able to tell what is important to your interviewer. And important means probably values, even if they don't portray it as such, but important is our how our values are being conveyed. And you should ask them value-based questions. So for example, for personal growth, if this is the value that you care about most, you should ask if personal growth plan is in place and if it's implemented. For communication value, you have a question of sitting arrangements. If the ICs sits with management, if there is an open communication between everyone, and I have more questions about communication that you can ask in a bit. And a bit arrives now. These are examples that you can ask yourself for these values that I'm gonna share with you. So for communication, check the channels, Slack meetings, and how communication is conducted there. Is it okay to ask questions if the feedback and communication is positive or only when something is wrong? Feedback, is it ongoing or only on performance reviews? And if the one-on-one is only for your team leader, or you can say things as well. Postmortems, are they blame or learning? Fixed, are the Slack messages are just fixed, check now, or they elaborate and say the issue was X, I did the change that Y. Integrity, so can I speak my mind and say if something is wrong? Is there trust, macromanagement, or micromanagement? Can I say I messed up, or do I need to cover it up? Are my managers accountable for the words or promises? And do I have autonomy on my work hours? If so, it means that I have a way to express my integrity of not slacking around. Personal growth. Are there predefined tracks for non-managerial growth like ICs or tech leads? Is it encouraged to attend or speak at conferences like I'm doing just now? Is there a mentorship program, and are others willing to mentor even without a defined program? And is personal growth a priority as much as delivery? Because a lot of companies have this motto of our people come first. Is it for real? Innovation, is it encouraged to suggest new tools and bring up new ideas and tasks? What is the value of maintenance work versus the volume of work on new features? Do we have extracurriculars activities like hackathon or demo days or open source contribution days? Ownership. So is it expected to do things in an end-to-end manner? Do we have dev-centered culture? Does dev care and focus about code alone, or also ask about things that are peripheral like monitoring and tests? And are you independent on your tasks and you have design responsibilities, or you just have the task queued up and you just need to implement it, and that's that. Leadership. How do I perceive leadership, and how are the leaders in my company if they are embodiment of that? Do leaders know their employees and colleagues personally? Do I look up to or appreciate the people in leadership roles? And what does it take to be leaders in a company? Well-being. Is there an understanding of flexibility for personal issues? Are people getting contacted on their day off? Production is stable or not, if it's putting out files or not. Do I have autonomy on my work hours as well here, because it is related to well-being? And does the company work in a hybrid setting? And knowledge sharing, sessions for knowledge sharing exist, yes, no. Is writing documentation an integral part of the team's day-to-day? Do we have time to write blog posts? And also communication of fix, check now, blah, blah. It's also about knowledge sharing, because if they share the knowledge or not. So you now can ask myself, okay, you can ask me, I can ask all of these questions, but hey, they want to recruit me, so they'll probably lie, right? And how sad that everybody lies. So in my experience, as long as you ask very specific questions, it will be very hard to lie to you. For example, describe me your house. You would say it's white, it has a fence, For rooms, that's it. You will predetermine the truth. But if I'll ask you specific questions like what are the sizes of the rooms in your house and is it close to an airport or stuff like that, then there's no way out, no predefining the truth. It will be a straight up lie, which you will find out very soon and can bail quickly with little to no drawbacks resulting from this decision to be there. But also you can find someone that worked there before and ask them, and they'll probably be able to spill the tea. So to sum things up, technology is not everything. Values can and should help you navigate a career in tech that best suits you. So now it's time for you to start thinking, what do you value and what are you gonna do about it? Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can reach out through any of these platforms and I'll be happy to help. Thank you.